Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is one that I'm so excited to film for you guys because today we are finally going to be playing with Desi Color's makeup. Recently I did a haul which I will leave up here in the eye, and we actually hauled a couple of the Desi x Katy collection. So they released this collection a couple of years ago now, but I'm only finally getting around to playing with it. Desi Colors was actually released in 2013, I do believe, by Anna Petrosian, who is a makeup artist. So I'm really excited. I've heard the best things about Desi Colors. So if you're interested in seeing the look that I come up with, then just continue watching. Also, in case you guys are wondering what my nail polish is, it is this super neon pinky peach color. It's from China Glaze. It's this one right here in the shade Flip Flop Fantasy. I actually picked this up again, like, I'm gonna say almost a week ago now, and I've continuously been painting my nails this like neon pink color. I'm so obsessed. Anyways, in case you're wondering, that's what it is. So here are all of the Desi Colors Desi x Katy products that I own. So I've got the eyeshadow quad, all of the highlighters. There's actually 3, but I did buy doubles of Mírame and Fuego. And then here are all of the lipsticks. So I did buy doubles of the shade No Shade lipsticks. So yeah, I'm really excited to play with these two. Okay, so I thought we'd start off with eyes. So I'd zoom you guys in first. In case you're wondering as well, yesterday I just got my brows threaded and hennaed. So if they do look a little bit dark at the moment, hopefully it'll all come back together. If I do need to, maybe I'll touch up a little bit. Like, I've noticed the tail where I don't actually have any hairs is starting to fade a little bit, but like right in the front here it's slightly fading off, and mainly just here is where I'm kind of noticing it, but it's kind of to be expected. I just have oily skin and it's my first time doing the henna, so I feel like, as I said, it's going to take some time to get used to, but hopefully it holds up pretty well. So for eyes, I'm really excited because we're finally going to be trying out this little puppy right here. This is the 4-pan eyeshadow palette. So it's got the shades Nolly, Suze, Harpoon, and Turbo-san, who are all of their dogs. So cute. But I know this is all primarily shimmers, so I thought I also picked up this product right here. This is the Desi Colors Baked Browns eyeshadow palette. So you can see on the back as well, this is all of the shades that comes in the palette. So on the inside, you can see it does come with 5 matte shadows, which is going to be perfect for this look, and a brush. Here's what the eyeshadow brush looks like. As you can see, it comes with a tiny little pencil brush and then kind of like a small mini flat shader brush. So I feel like if you're somebody that likes to do precise work, this will be perfect for you, but I feel like you're going to need a few more brushes to do an overall eye look, but it's nice to have it in there. So I figured we'd go right ahead and use the Zoeva eye set. This is the rose gold eye set. So it comes with a stack of eye brushes. So here are what all 12 of the eye brushes look like that come in that set. It is such a good value. I'm pretty sure it was like $150 for 12 brushes, and you're gonna have pretty much every single shape of eye brush you're ever gonna need. So I'm first gonna go into the Baked Browns eyeshadow palette with the 228 Luxe crease brush, and I'm gonna go into the second shade here, which is called Deserted. Ooh, these are super pigmented. You can see I barely tapped my brush in there. There's a little bit of kick up too, so you do want to be careful. Yeah, these powders are really powdery. And I'm going to start kind of working this shadow into the crease. I'm feeling like something pretty smoky today. It's so weird, my brows already being done. To be honest, there's not a lot of brow hair for the henna to stick to. Pretty much just has to stick to my skin. Like, my brow hairs do look a little bit darker, but I feel like if I had a lot more, the henna would be a little bit more longer lasting. But they said it's meant to last like anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. But I feel like, honestly, on me, because of how oily my skin is, the fact that I wear makeup, so obviously I have to remove it with an oil and a regular cleanser, I'm kind of anticipating 3 weeks, but I feel like in the time that I'll be filming videos, you'll probably be able to see the progress of it. Next, going into the exact same shadow with the 230 Luxe pencil brush. I'm going to start taking that underneath the lower lashes. And I'm actually taking it pretty far down because I do want this to be really smoky. So I'm pretty much like taking it like underneath the eye bag. So you can see this is my lower lash line, and then here's my lower bag. So I'm pretty much smoking it all the way down. These shadows are definitely impressing me though. I know they're super powdery in the palette, but on the eyes, I'm not getting any patchiness or streakiness, and they're blending like a dream. Next, I'm going to go into the very center shade right here, which is called Outdoorsy, with the 227 Luxe Soft Definer. You can see though, did you see how much powder kind of kicked off? I would say truly less is more with this. And all I'm going to do is start working that on the outer crease first. And I'm going to start bringing it in. I do feel like the two of these colors are pretty similar. They do have a slightly different undertone, but I feel like maybe I'm going to go into the next darker shade just to deepen it a little bit more. I am also kind of dragging out these shadows to kind of create that really soft wing effect. So next I think I'm actually going to skip right down to the very last shadow, which is called Rock Bottom, with the 231 Luxe Petite Crease Brush. And I think I'm just going to tap into that one. I'm also noticing that maybe this one has a little less powderiness. It is still powdery, but maybe just like a little tiny bit less. And all I'm going to do is start darkening the outer V. And also the inner corner. So something kind of like that. I've also kind of pulled this shadow kind of out this way, and this one I've kind of avoided going up and around. I've kind of brought it kind of in this direction, so my whole eye starts to kind of focus in this type of direction, if that kind of makes any sense. So I'm going to do the same to the other eye. But you can see literally how quickly the pigmentation shows up, and also for a very pigmented powdery shadow, I'm not getting a lot of fallout either, which is nice. So next I think I'm going to emphasize the halo shape by going into this shade right here called Tea Light with the 232 Luxe Classic Shader Brush. Yeah, you can already see this one's a lot more powdery. As I said, it seems to be the very constant theme with this palette. It is very, very powdery, but so far I don't actually mind it. It just means you have to be a little bit careful about how much product you're picking up. And I'm just going to start lightly brightening the center of the halo. So I'm going back and forth until I think I've got pretty much next to no product left. And then I'm going to flip the brush over and start kind of blending. I'm just taking the brush that we had the darkest shadow Rock Bottom on, and I'm just going to re-darken those inner and outer corners. You can see it just kind of helps like add a little bit more brightness to the center to kind of emphasize that shape. I think this would be quite pretty even if you don't go in with the eyeshadow quad, but I do want to add some shimmer to this. But I feel like for an all matte look, this is kind of what I love to kind of do to play up my eyes. And then lastly for this palette, I'm going to take the last shadow that we haven't used yet, which is this one right here called Cherrywood with the 238 Luxe Precise Shader. Once again, it seems the darker two shades aren't as powdery. They still are powdery, but not as powdery. And I'm just going to start running this all the way along the lower lash line, but keeping it pretty tight to the lashes. Yeah, that shadow is really pretty. Yeah, I love this palette. So I feel like if you can kind of get over the powderiness of this eyeshadow palette, I 100% think you should pick it up. I can definitely see myself getting so many more uses out of this, especially if you kind of didn't do a halo and just did a regular smoky eye, or even just did like a really simple lighter eyeshadow look. You could even probably mix the two lighter shades if you don't like this deep of a crease, but so far I'm impressed. So next I'm going to go into my shimmer. So this is the Dose of Colors 4-pan eyeshadow palette. I love the packaging of this. Truly, is this not the most beautiful packaging you've ever seen? Just the way that that kind of like picks up the light, it looks expensive. I mean, it is kind of more of like a cardboard packaging if anything, but truly the outer packaging I think is so stunning. And then this is what the inside of the palette looks like. So you can see you've got two darker shades and two lighter shades. The two darker shades here, Harpoon and Turbo Sun, are so beautiful, and I feel like for a darker, richer, smoky eye would be stunning. But I think I'm going to go into Nolly and Suze. So I think I'll go back in with that same lid brush, which is the 232 Luxe Classic Shader. And I'm going to go into the light gold right here, which is the shade Suze. I do also know that these are best used, I think, wet. I might try it first dry, and if I need to, I might as well wet it and foil the eyeshadow. So I'm just going to take that right over the light shadow that we used earlier, right in the center of the halo eye. And so far, I think that's quite pretty on its own. And then for the other eye, I'm going to take my Urban Decay X Mechalon All Nighter Summer Solstice Scented Setting Spray. And I'm just going to foil the eyeshadow. So I can tell already it's definitely picking up more powder. And I'm going to do the same. Oh my goodness. That is so pigmented. Definitely a totally different texture. That's like literally liquid molten gold. Oh my goodness, that's so much. I might even just start blending it out with my finger because that is intense. Did not picture that at all. Yeah, that's so intense. Oh my goodness. Wow. I truly was not expecting that. I thought it'd maybe be like a little bit more, but not like, that's intense. I'm just going back and forth between the brush that we use for the darkest shadow and then the flat shadow brush with the gold on it, just to kind of help blend it out a little bit, because truly, yeah, that looks a lot better. That was so intense. I did not expect that whatsoever. I'm impressed, but like, was not ready. And then I might go back and take the 238 Luxe Precise Shader Brush, the one that we use for the lower lash line, with this shadow right here, which is called Nolly. And I'm going to go right in the center of the lower lash and kind of diffuse it inwards and outwards. I do feel like maybe the bronze is not as intense, so I'll wet the brush only slightly. And I'm going to go back in. Yeah, that's better. This is so pretty. I love this. But definitely do be warned, less is more. I'm even just going to take it all the way in and out because I feel like I really like this. So here's what the eyes are looking like so far. I really, really love the way that they look. That bronze underneath and the gold on the top I think has really tied the whole look together. I feel like I want to do a little bit of liner. I don't want anything too intense because I want the shadow to shine for itself. So I think I'm going to do a really thin line of liner and some mascara, and we'll come right back. Okay, so I've just gone right ahead and added a brown pencil liner that I kind of smudged into my lashes, some mascara, and then I kind of filled in just like the ends of my brows and maybe a tiny little bit around the beginning, just with a brow pencil. I didn't add it in a brow gel or anything like that because I don't want to remove too much of it, but I just added a tiny bit of pencil just in pretty much the tails primarily. So next we're going on to highlighter. So here are all of the highlights that I picked up from the Desi x Katy collection. I did pick up 2 of Fuego, 2 of Mírame, and then I picked up 1 of the second drop, which is called Chasing the Sun, as you can see on the top there. I feel like I might want to use this one because when I hold it, this one really caught my eye, but I'll show you what they all look like. So here is what the outer packaging of the first drop looks like. So you can see it's still that same beautiful light champagne gold that the eyeshadow quad came with. And then here is what the shade Fuego looks like. It is so pretty. It is such a beautiful peachy toned gold. I was so tempted to use this one, but I think I'm going to use Chasing the Sun because it's just a little bit more gold, but you'll kind of see, I'll compare them because I think this one and Chasing the Sun are very, very similar. However, the next one that I picked up is the shade Mírame. So it looks like this. It does look very similar, but if I hold the two of them up together, do you see how Fuego is a little bit lighter, a little bit more peachy gold, and then Mírame is a little bit more almost like mauvey pink, but I feel like when you hold it up on its own, it does look very, very similar. But once again, I feel like if I was wearing more of a pinky look, I would go for this one, but I'll show you what Chasing the Sun looks like. So here is Chasing the Sun. So you can see the packaging on the outside is a little bit different. If I hold it up to Fuego, you can see that Fuego is a little bit more of that like lighter gold with like a white aspect to it. This is more of like a bronze with like a black aspect to it. Hopefully you can kind of see that if I hold the two of them up together. So Mírame and Fuego are in this packaging, and then this one in Chasing the Sun is a little bit different. And then I'll show you the inside. So here's what Chasing the Sun looks like. So you can see if you hold it up next to Fuego, it is very, very similar. I'd say Fuego is a little bit more golden peach, whereas Chasing the Sun is like a true gold. I remember the girls saying that this is meant to kind of replicate the look of Golden Hour, which is that really beautiful like warm sunset kind of look that really kind of shows the color in your skin. It's really, really pretty. So I'm excited to try this one. This is also the newest one, so let's give it a bit of a go. And then just quickly before I forget, here's the other two shades compared. So once again, Chasing the Sun and Mírame. So if I hold the two of them up together, Chasing the Sun's a little bit more gold, a little bit lighter, and Mírame is a little bit more mauvey pinky, but a little bit deeper, I'd say. So seeing as I actually want a pretty precise highlight, I might go in with an eyeshadow brush. This is the 221 Luxe Soft Crease. It's a pretty big brush, and I feel like if I just kind of get it right there, I think it'll apply it really beautifully. So once again, I'm going to go in with the shade Chasing the Sun, and I'm going to take a little bit off. I'm noticing immediately as well, unlike the powder shadows that we used on the eyes, this one doesn't have as much kick up, but you can see there's a lot of product on my brush. And I'm just going to go right ahead and start highlighting. I can already tell though, when I look straight to the front, do you see that? It is definitely a little deep for me. If I turn to the side, it looks pretty normal, but the second I turn to the front, do you see how now it looks like I've got a darker cast just here? It's kind of not ideal. I do think it's pretty. Maybe for more nighttime, we might have to go and just blend her out a little bit. Yeah, I think that helps a lot. All I did was just took a big fluffy brush and just kind of buffed and diffused over all of the edges that we highlighted. And I feel like it just kind of toned it down a little bit. So you can still see I've got a little bit of a glow, but definitely nothing as intense as it was before. I think it's just a little bit too dark for my skin tone. So I'd say if you're more of a tan, medium dark, maybe even deep dark, if you don't mind that super bright, blinding highlight, I feel like you'd get away with it. But because it's a very, very strong golden undertone, I think it would work for a deeper dark skin tone. So then lastly, to finish off, I did pick up some lip products. So I've got 4 of the liquid lips and then 3 of the regular lipsticks. So the liquid lips that I picked up are the shades Mauve Story, My Main, Hot Fire, and Saváge. And then in the lipsticks, I picked up 2 of the shade No Shade and 1 in More Creamer Please. I feel like maybe I'll go in with a liquid lip, and if it's too dark, then I'll go in with a lipstick. So I might just start by swatching them. So first I'm going to go in with a Mauve Story. So that's what that one looks like. This is a liquid velvet. Next, I've got My Main, which is also a liquid velvet. That is stunning, and I feel like that'd go really, really well with the eyes. Next, I've got Hot Fire, which is a matte lipstick. So stunning. Definitely one of my favorite like orangey reds I've ever seen. And then lastly, I've got Saváge, which is another matte lipstick. It's a really beautiful like eggplant purple. So once again, here are all of the swatches. I feel like with this look, I'm mostly attracted to this second one right here, which is called My Main. And also this packaging is so beautiful. And as I said, it smells really good too. So I'm going to go right ahead and apply My Main. I also really like the applicator of this. I feel like because it's quite a firm applicator, if I press a little bit harder and use the pressure, it actually can kind of really, really easily draw a straight line. So it's been a couple of minutes and I just let the liquid lip sit there for a couple of minutes, and I've noticed that it is drying down a little bit, not all the way because it is a velvet, so I didn't expect it to dry down completely matte, but it does feel really, really comfortable. So I think since it's a velvet, it's gonna have a little bit more of that creaminess to it and it doesn't feel as drying, but I do really like it. But I do really want to try out one of the lipsticks, so I might as well just go right ahead. I think I'm gonna go the shade No Shade, which is the one that I bought a backup for, so I think I'm gonna apply this one just to lighten the lip in the center a little bit more and so I can try out the formula. So here's what the lipstick bullet looks like. I don't know if you can see on the ferrule, it actually has their signatures on there. So I'm just going to start applying that directly into the center. As you can see, it is a lot lighter. And I'm just going to take my finger and just slightly blend it out. This is a super comfortable feeling lip. Oh, I love that. It is such a me color. Literally like my nudie peaches, my nudie browns, my nudie pinks. Oh, you just get me with a lip like this. I'm glad that I bought a backup of this one. The other shade, More Creamer Please, which is Desi's lipstick, is a little bit darker, a little bit more peachier, pretty much the same as the liquid lip that I just showed you. So I'm so glad that I picked up a backup of this color because this is so perfect. It's so me. I'm gonna get so much use out of it. I can just tell you now, I'm gonna love it. And then lastly, just to set our face, I'm going to go right ahead and take that same Urban Decay and Mecca All Nighter setting spray in the shade Summer Solstice and set my face down. So yeah guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's look. I really, really love the way that it turned out. This is so warm and bronzed and glam, but just super, super, super fun to do. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then you know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag it all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. 11? That's weird. Try that again. Pencil liner and smudged it. The other shade in More Creamer Peel. So today's video is picking up the kids, going to church, milk from the grocery store, filling up petrol, walks on the beach, dogs in the park, that type of look.